How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 185. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? To be frank, I thought this week's chapter was great. I thought it did a good job at once again explaining what the whole plan of the Agent Devil is and why it's so infatuated to be eaten by Chainsaw Man. And we also see pretty much the revelation of what Denji's plan has been accumulating up to this point, where he finally unveils it to all of us. And in typical Denji fashion, it was pretty hilarious, but at the same time, it also was kind of big brain in some behalves. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off where we left off last time, which was pretty much the Agent Devil telling Denji, like, hey, I don't know what you're going on about you escaping my world and my realm and all that, but like, just so you know, people have been stuck here for like 2,000 years. It's all in vain. You're not getting out of here. Like, there's no escaping this. I've seen so many people try to escape, and at the end of the day, look at them. They're just trees now. And it was pretty interesting because the Agent Devil starts saying, like, you know, I didn't turn them into trees. And what we find out is that apparently, in the context of this world, we see that, I guess, people, from what the Agent Devil explains, people that had stayed in this world forever, you know, they had their plans, tried to escape, but eventually those plans started to, like, you know, slow down and kind of just gave up on life. And apparently got to the point where, I guess it's more like a mental thing, where I guess when humans, you know, after being alive for so long, inevitably they become like trees. That was my interpretation of the scene. You guys can correct me down below if I'm wrong, but from what I took from the chapter was that apparently human brains are they can only comprehend so much, and they can only live to a certain amount, whether, you know, from the knowledge they get or whatever, but eventually they will become trees. If that's what I took from the scene, where they're stuck there, they're not aging, and apparently that's what you're stuck there, eventually you turn into a tree. That was my interpretation of the scene. And we see pretty much the Agent Devil just telling this to Denji. It's like, hey man, you should just like give up, because like there's no hope. Yeah, like that's it. And Denji's just like, yeah, I don't buy any of that. He's like, well, what's your plan? Like, what's your big plan to escape out of here? Because like, I don't see you getting out of here. And then we see this where Denji's like, oh, you don't understand. Like, I've been running non-stop. It's like, yeah, what about it? And this was the moment in the chapter where I completely was wrong with my theories. Because if you guys had seen my previous chapter reviews, I said that Denji was running to make himself throw up. But in reality, it was the complete opposite. He was making himself be hungry, because he's like, hey, I got a stomach out there, but like, you know, I'm here and I'm hungry. And then you're like, wait, what's going on? And we see that as he's explaining all this to the Agent Devil's like, whatever, I don't catch this. And we see that Denji eventually goes to Asa, like, hey, are you done doing the thing that I told you about, Asa? It's like, yeah, like, I guess I gathered something. And we see that Asa created this like contraption. It looks like a caveman weapon. And apparently she used that tooth of the devil that he spit out, the Snow Devil. And he used its tooth and like wrapped it around like a piece of wood or something, and like a log, and it looks like a melee attack, like you use at Fortnite or something to, like, you know, an axe pick kind of weapon. It's like caveman era, like, I'm not even joking, guys. And we see that pretty much as Denji gets this weapon, you know, the Agent Devil's like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? And Denji's like, oh, you'll see. And he proceeds to like go and start cutting up a tree. But remember, guys, this is a human. And Denji even says that, is like, wait, what are you doing? You're cutting down a human. Are you insane? What are you up to? And Denji's like, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I know that's a human. I know that I know what the stakes are. I know what I am doing. It's not correctly right, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And he starts cutting down this tree. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And this was big brain, because I never even thought of this for a second. And we see that as Denji's cutting down this tree, you see the blood and the guts start spilling out of this tree, because remember, this was a human. So by all sense of the word, it should still have like blood and, you know, the intestines and all that, like the guts. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I started figuring out what the plan was, which was that Denji was making himself hungry, and eventually, cutting down this tree, getting some blood. And as we see that he starts eating this blood, like, my man is munching, my man is going deep in, my man getting an all-you-can-eat buffet. All right. And as Denji is munching on this meal, we see that he starts pulling out his lever, the Chainsaw Man one, as he's getting the blood and everything. And we see that Denji starts telling the agent devils, like, hey, yeah, I did this. And an important thing to talk about that I want to overlook is that earlier in the chapter we said that the agent devil was also talking about how, having a conversation with the prime minister of Japan, when he's saying, like, hey, we should kill these kids, make the contract with me and all that. And we see that he's literally sitting on the prime minister, and he's like, yeah, he's like, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, the country needs you. And then he's like, yeah, the country does need me. Without me, how can they look into the future? And we see that he's literally sitting on him, like, agent devil, mad disrespectful. But it was important because we see that he's with the public safety, and he's just chilling, like, he's literally vibing, waiting its time to be eaten by the Chainsaw Man. And he's pretty much saying, like, we see the prime minister is 100% down for this plan. So those kids that he's lining up to be sacrificed, sucks for them. Like, straight up, like, I was like, oh, what a garbage human being this dictator guy is. Not dictator, he's prime minister, but I mean, he's doing some questionable decisions, to say the least. And we see that as this was happening early in the chapter, and we're going back to the present time, which is Denji is eating all this like guts and blood and all that. He's wrapping up his cord. And as he's wrapping the cord up, we see that Denji's like, yeah, you see, as I'm eating this is all I need. It's like, what are you going on about? And we see that Pochita starts, healing himself, which was something that I did say. I did say that he was gonna heal, because my theory was that he was gonna eat the agent devil and then spit it out. But obviously that didn't come to fruition. I did think that Denji was gonna make Pochita heal himself, which he did. We see that Pochita's back to 100% now in the real world, and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Because we see the agent devil's like, oh, okay, he's in the public safety. He's like, hey, public safety, just so you know, Chainsaw Man healed himself, and it's heading our way. So just an FYI, and yeah, just be ready. And that's pretty much how the chapter ends. So it ends in this kind of situation where we see that Chainsaw Man's back at 100%, Pochita's ready to wreck shop, and he's going straight ahead for the public safety. And if I had to speculate about a couple of things that might happen, I think Fumiko, we might actually see her devil contract or something. Like, we might actually see her come into play, because I know she was the cover of the newest volume, so that could be like a reason why Fujimoto would like show her again. Or maybe she just literally dipped out and she said peace. Because we do know that she doesn't want to fight, like, when it comes to like these strong enemies. So whatever the case is, if she shows up, I mean, we get to see more Fumiko. Hopefully she gets eliminated by Pochita, as she should, because she's done some terrible deeds. I'm wondering if Yoshida's gonna step up again, because he already got wrecked by Chainsaw Man, Pochita. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out, because I think my theory might still stand in effect, which is that Pochita will eat the agent devil, but then spit it out. Therefore, he does, like, how can I put this? He would make it so Denji and Asa can get out, and then spit it out so he can bring it back. I don't know. This is just my theory crafting, where it's like, how are they gonna deal with the agent devil? Because if he can just send Asa and Denji to this dimension, like, how are they gonna deal with him? Like, because if they do kill him, if Denji does eat it, like, they win. Like, the public safety wins. It's what the agent devil wants. So I'm wondering how they're gonna solve this. That's the big takeaway. Like, I'm very curious to see how they're gonna solve this. We saw that Denji's plan about getting Pochita back to 100% worked, but now I want to see how he's gonna deal with the agent devil going forward in the next chapter. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, as well as a great Thanksgiving later on this week. But yeah, with all that being said, bye-bye.